This week I want to talk to you about ways that you can begin working on your gut health when you're feeling overwhelmed and you really just don't know where to start. I've been sent quite a few questions in the last few days about gut health related issues like how to eat for healing eczema, Crohn's disease, stomach ulcers, reflux. I've been asked about foods that are safe during pregnancy, food for babies, foods to eat while you're on antibiotics to help with your gut, cold and flu remedies, foods to boost your immune system. So to kind of cover those questions in a very basic way, I want to give you some tips for gut health because really that's what they all come back to. So whether you're wanting to do the GAPS protocol or whether you just want to start improving gut health in small ways, there's some really simple steps that you can start on that don't need to be overwhelming and don't need to completely upend your life. So Elise and I talk about this a lot in our gut health formula program, but just to give you some little tips to get you started, for those of you who are not ready to dive into fully working on your gut health or doing a program, these are some things that you can start with. Firstly, I just want to say start slowly. Don't feel like you need to do a really hardcore approach and jump in and do all or nothing, because that's the approach that causes a lot of stress, and people generally don't last long with that approach unless they're very, very sick and don't have any other options. But for most people, the first step is more of a gradual changing and swapping foods out kind of approach. And that's what we did, working in the healthy foods little by little and then slowly pushing out the less healthy foods and then going deeper with gut health foods. So starting with adding in healing foods. So that's where I would begin. Before you start pulling things out of your family's diet and telling your kids, no, you're not having bread anymore, start adding in healing foods. Meat stocks, that's number one, always very foundational for healing the gut lining, because the amino acids in meat stock are like a glue which mends those damaged cells. So it will help to heal the lining of your gut, and it will help your cells to be healthy, and you can then absorb the nutrients in your food better. So meat stocks versus bone broths, I've got a video that you can watch on that. I've put the link below. Basically, a meat stock is a short cooked stock with meat on the bones. A bone broth is something that's cooked like 24 hours, sometimes longer, made with bones. It's great for minerals, but it's not as good for the amino acids that heal the gut. So it's a food for later on in your healing journey. When you're first starting, meat stocks are the best, and they're also the easiest. They only take a couple of hours to make. Pop some chicken legs or chicken wings or chicken frames and feet into a pot, cover with water, add a bit of salt and pepper, simmer that for 2 hours, strain it off. You have meat stock. But watch the video for more details if you need help with that. Other healing foods include good fats. So really work on changing over your fats to good, healthy, natural fats that have been in the human diet for thousands of years, not the modern factory laboratory type oils like vegetable oils and seed oils. Those are highly refined and highly inflammatory for your body. You cannot heal not very easily when you're having a lot of those kind of fats, because they're just causing inflammation in your body. So instead of the canola oil, grapeseed oil, rice bran oil, the really refined sunflower oil, vegetable oils, instead of those, have oils like, and fats like ghee, butter, olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, tallow, lard, bacon fat if you eat bacon. Those kind of stable fats that have a high smoke point and that are easily made and easy to cook with without burning, those are the kind of fats you're looking for. If you're looking for something to make mayonnaise with, or something where you just need no flavor, you can use a cold pressed macadamia oil or almond oil. You can use sunflower oil if it's cold pressed, organic and hyalaic. That's different to the refined sunflower oil. So for more information on oils, scroll down and there's a podcast link on oils. Other healing foods include eggs. Don't believe them when they say eggs are bad for you. They have been in the human diet for thousands of years and they have been scientifically proven to be very, very nourishing for the human body and also very healing. So there's a lot of research out there on the benefits of eggs, and egg yolks especially are important for gut health and for brain health, especially for children. You want to get those amino acids in that help to build the brain. And you can find out lots more about the health benefits of eggs if you research them. But if you just scroll down below, I have put a link there for you to read a little bit about the benefits of eggs. Organ meats. I know that most people go, I don't want organ meats in my diet, that's gross. But if you can start adding in some liver, mix minced liver with some mince in a ratio of about 1:5 or 1:4, and make your meatballs or meatloaf or burgers. Or you can add pate, homemade pate to burgers or meatballs, that works well. Pate is a great way to get some organ meats in. Steak and kidney pie. There's all sorts of great recipes with organ meats, super nutritious, very good for healing. You can also take capsules of liver powder if you absolutely cannot stand the thought of eating liver. Bone marrow, another very nutritious food. That one is like nature's superfood. Well, all of these really are. So it's a high fat, nutrient dense food that really helps to support the healing process. It contains a lot of B12 and iron. It's really rich in collagen, which helps to heal your skin and your hair and the strength of your bones. It also contains AKGs, which are immune boosting lipids. That's also found in breast milk. So it's really good for you, and you can just roast marrow bones and sprinkle with salt and scoop the marrow out and eat it, or you can add the bones to soups and stocks and the marrow will go into the stock. You won't even notice it's there. Okay. So those are some healing foods, and also fermented foods help to really rebalance the microbiome. So starting to bring in some fermented foods into the diet little by little. You may start with kombucha or some milk kefir mixed into smoothies, or some 24-hour yogurt, some 24-hour sour cream, a little bit of sauerkraut juice dripped onto food. All of these things can be added very slowly and gently, little by little, to the diet, and are really helpful for balancing the microbiome in the gut. So that's the first step, slowly adding in these foods to your diet before changing anything else, before taking other things out. Just slowly add those kinds of foods in as you can, little by little. I'm not saying every day have all those foods, but keep them in mind, and wherever you can, add them in. Meat stocks can be used in your cooking instead of water in a main meal. Meat stocks can be the base for your soups and stews. They can also be something you just have a sip of for a snack. And you can make delicious breakfasts out of meat stock with veggies and some eggs poached in there. So there's lots of ways that you can add in these healing foods, but just remember meat stock first. That's your first most important one, and then all these other ones can slowly be added in as you can. So then, thinking about a whole food diet, what is a whole food diet? What does whole foods mean? I get a lot of questions from people saying, okay, for instance, I had some questions this week about UHT milk. Is UHT milk okay? It's not a whole food. It's highly refined. It's highly heat treated. All the enzymes in the milk are killed in the heat treatment. And it also damages a lot of the other nutrients in the milk. So you're not getting what milk naturally has in it. It's a completely different food. So no, that's not a whole food, and it won't be beneficial to your body. If you don't have access to raw milk, which most of us don't have a cow in the backyard, sadly, or a goat, you can get non-homogenized organic milk or Jersey milk, non-homogenized Jersey milk. Those are great, and use them to make your fermented dairy products. So your milk kefir or your 24-hour yogurt. And once it's fermented, it's even easier to digest. So thinking about what a whole food is, for me, it's really just looking at what has been in the human diet for thousands of years and is grown naturally or produced naturally or farmed naturally. It doesn't need a laboratory to process it and make it. It's something that has a cellular structure. It's something that your body recognizes as food. So just trying to simplify your food by bringing it back to whole foods. Shop the outside edges of the supermarket, not all the packet aisles, as much as possible, and try to mostly base your food on fruit, vegetables, nuts, seeds, meat, seafood, leafy greens, eggs, good fats, those kind of foods, not packets. Of course, we all need shortcuts at times, and I understand that. So this is just something you're working towards and doing the best you can. The next thing that I would really recommend is working on removing refined sugars from your diet, if you haven't already, and replacing them with, say, honey or dates. Even pure maple syrup is a pretty good option. For gut health, the best recommendation is honey because it's pre-digested. The bees already did the hard work for you. Your body finds it very easy to break down, so it's not difficult for your gut to digest. It's not spending a lot of energy on it. Sugars and starches are generally something that a damaged gut finds difficult to break down. So that's why generally on a gut healing diet, you pull back on the starchy foods and the sugary foods, and the sugars are changed to honey in minimal amounts. So that's something to work towards. Refined sugars are like refined oils, highly inflammatory. So you really want to reduce those inflammatory foods, and that will really help boost your gut health. Eat nutrient-dense meals. So when you're cooking even breakfast, think protein, fat, carbohydrates, have lots of nutrients in there, and you'll find that less and less often you'll need to snack. You'll just start to really go, okay, I only need 3 meals a day and I'm not really needing to snack. Now and then you might have something for a treat, but it's not like you have to eat every 2 to 3 hours. You don't feel that need for that because you're having the nutrients that your cells need. They're nourished, they're satiated, and so you'll be able to reduce the amount that you eat, and you'll get more benefit from the food that you eat. So for instance, you can, instead of starting off the day with a really starchy breakfast, try the examples that I gave in the last newsletter for simple breakfasts that are really nutrient dense. Instead of having chips and chocolate or a cream bun or bread or something like that for a snack when you're out, try taking some roasted nuts with you in your bag, or buy a yogurt, just a plain yogurt or one that's flavored with honey, or take some, a smoothie with you in a cold bottle, so that you have something to snack on when you're out and you're not tempted to buy the starchy refined foods that will end up damaging your gut. And just keep working on adjusting the way that you shop and the way that you cook and the way that you eat little by little, so that little by little the things in the pantry and fridge and freezer are whole foods. So you're not just dumping everything and doing a big clean out and saying, okay, now I'm starting over. Little by little you're swapping things out, making better choices, and adding in those healing foods, and you will really start to see a difference. If you want further help with this, scroll down to the link below and have a look at the 8-week gut health program, the gut health formula that Elise and I run. Elise is a nutritionist, integrative nutritionist, and a GAPS practitioner. She's very experienced with gut health issues, and we'd be happy to help you work through that with the support that you may need. And then if you also just need recipe ideas, there's Life Changing Food, my cookbook and app. Or you can also find lots of recipes on my website, Facebook, Instagram, and my cooking videos on Facebook and Instagram. There's heaps of ideas there just for simple, gut healthy recipes. But do let us know if you need some support or coaching, because Elise and I do that and we're happy to help. Okay, I hope those will give you some things to start with and things to think about. Most of it's pretty common sense. Most of it's things that you probably already know, but we all need reminders. And as always, get plenty of rest, reduce the stress. That will greatly help your gut health as well. Have a great week. Bye.